JD Vance talking about Donald Trump's health and potential lifespan, he again stepped in it and didn't realize that he triggered more people to wonder, is Donald Trump dying?
As vice president, you're a heartbeat away from the presidency. And your boss is one of the oldest people to ever be sworn into office. You're one of the youngest people to ever be second in line. Are you ready to assume the role of commander-in-chief? And why should Americans trust you to lead the country?
Well, I've gotten a lot of good on-the-job training over the last 200 days, but also say that the president is in incredibly good health. He's got incredible energy. And while most of the people who work around the president of the United States are younger than he is, I think that we find that he actually is the last person who goes to sleep. He's the last person making phone calls at night, and he's the first person who wakes up and the first person making phone calls in the morning. So yes, things can always happen. Yes, terrible tragedies happen, but I feel very confident the President of the United States is in good shape, is going to serve out the remainder of his term and do great things for the American people. And if, God forbid, there's a terrible tragedy, I can't think of better on-the-job training than what I've gotten over the last 200 days.
JD Vance. JD Vance accidentally said it again. I mean, Donald Trump, God forbid, he's in the best health of his life. Dude looks like a 19-year-old, let me tell you. But you know what? If he does die, I'm totally ready to step in. You know, if he dies like tomorrow, man, I haven't had better on-the-job training ever. If he does die, I'm ready for it. He's in good health. He just might die soon because he's old and I'm younger. He's one of those guys that might start looking over his shoulder. Because in this MAGA party full of thieves and criminals do thievery and crime. And sometimes they're waiting waiting just beneath you to maybe stab you in the back. I like that the Lincoln Project released this video. This was from a year ago. They've been pushing this whole thing of JD Vance, waiting for Donald Trump to die for a while, and it's probably getting under Donald Trump's skin.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to announce that Senator J.D. Vance has the overwhelming support of this convention to be the next Vice President of the United States.
Who has heard the poem called The Snake? On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake.
I can't stomach Trump. I think that he's noxious.
She clutched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried. But instead of saying thank you, that snake gave her a vicious bite.
Fellow Christians, everyone is watching us when we apologize for this man. Lord, help us.
I have saved you, cried the woman, and you've bitten me, heavens why?
That he was fundamentally divisive, arrogant.
You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die.
He's leading our political discourse to a very negative place.
Oh, shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin.
Might be America's Hitler, might be a cynical a-hole.
You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in.
I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him.
Damn. That was like a year ago. That was, obviously you saw right before he was nominating him and they ran then for president together. And that interview that JD Vance had, someone, I'm ready, I'm totally ready, I'm looking at him, I can see him, I'm ready. That was just like a couple days ago. It's all kind of linking up. And if you're a paranoid person, you might start thinking, is he going to stab me in the back? In order to keep applying that pressure, with Rick Wilson, former Republican, who's been on a tirade and crazed approach against this presidency and the MAGA party altogether. I love the work that they're doing because he kind of knows the best way to attack these folks. He was working with them all the time before. Look at his speculation about Donald Trump's health.
So yeah, Trump is dying politically, but he might also be dying physically. Anybody buy the bullshit of Trump gets bruises on his hands because he shakes hands with people so much? You notice the big patch with the makeup, the concealer smeared all over it every day now? Trump's always had this aura in the minds of his base of invincibility, of physicality. And in 16, let's be real, he did have that big physicality. He had that more energetic posture, that more energetic affect. The guy is not well. And while the bruising and the weird bruises prior to that, previously from that, the weird scabs and the red spots all over his hands, that was also weird. But then came FIFA at the World Cup, and the photograph of Trump and the tubular structure from his knee to his foot. Every doctor that I spoke to 3 of them now, said that is edema. If it was a woman, that would be preeclampsia. He has fluid buildup in his body for reason X, and we don't know what the reason X is. Those reasons could range from congestive heart failure to renal failure to side effects of chemotherapy or other medical treatments. But Trump is not well. The elephant in the room is the question, is Trump dying? I think he might be. Politically, I know he is. Mentally, for sure. Physically, any doctor who treats Donald Trump right now needs to put their Hippocratic oath front and center. This guy's not well. And if you let him bullshit you into writing phony medical reports that he's in perfect health and his cholesterol is 0 and he's 14 feet tall and covered in steel, when the autopsy comes, your results will be mentioned. It ain't pretty. He looks sick. He sounds weak. He sounds confused. It's not good, Donald. Not good, Donald. Not good at all.
When you've become the type of person who's consistently on offense and always attacking people and calling them pieces of trash and names similar to what Gavin Newsom's people are doing now, the attacks come back at you the same way. He thinks no one else can be vicious. He thinks no one else can hit him right in his dark soul where he has his small fears for his life. He thinks that people can't do it. And every time people do it, and then people want to get all offended and say, how dare you guys be so heartless? We go, look at who you're following. The gloves are off, bro. People are going to celebrate when this guy isn't here. And people are going to cry about how folks are celebrating and get mad about it. Everyone doesn't worship your deity. Everyone doesn't worship, as J.D. Vance called him, your king. Do you guys remember this? This is from like a week or 2 ago. It was Donald Trump then bragging about his post meeting with Vladimir Putin where he got steamrolled. And he's beginning to think about the end of his life too.
Just want to end it. I want to end it. You know, we're not losing American lives. We're not losing American soldiers. We're losing Russian and Ukrainian, mostly soldiers. Some people, as missiles hit wrong spots or get lobbed into cities like Kiev and towns. But, you know, if I can save 7,000 people a week from being killed, I think that's I want to try and get to heaven if possible. I'm hearing I'm not doing well. I hear I'm really at the bottom of the totem pole. But if I can get to heaven, this will be one of the reasons. Well, I think I saved a lot of lives with India, Pakistan. They were going at it. The planes were being shot down. That was going to be maybe a nuclear war if I let that go. And I did that through trade.
He's hoping he can get to heaven by stopping all these wars. We're going to get to those wars in a second, but he's talking about heaven all of a sudden. This guy's had such a despicable, hateful, anti-Christian as he thinks he calls himself life. He's never really concerned himself with that. He's talking about Anami because he's afraid he doesn't know what's happening after he leaves here because he's never concerned himself or cared about anyone else in his life except for himself. And I think people that are like that don't tend to consider the end of their life or their mortality, that they think they're going to live forever until they're facing it. And they're wondering, yo, man, what if those folks that said my being evil and the dirty things I've done are actually going to show up once I'm not here anymore? No one knows, right? So you can't say for sure. Now he's worried about if he's going to get into heaven. Now he feels like he's on the bottom of the totem pole. So he's going to save some lives. There's one problem with that. This guy keeps talking about how he ended 7 to 10 wars. The problem, Donnie, and this, I think this really goes to his lack of understanding of how any of this works. You can't constantly lie over and over and over again about the things that you did to get into heaven when you didn't do those things. One of those things I was talking about is him ending that India-Pakistan war.
I think a very big one was India and Pakistan, because you're talking about 2 nuclear nations. And, you know, they're in the midst of a trade deal, and yet they're talking about nuclear weapons. I say, this is crazy. So I said, I'm not doing a trade deal with you guys. And they want the trade deal. They need it. I'm not doing a trade deal with you if you're going to have war. War between India and Pakistan. And I stopped it with trade. I don't think I've ever seen a story written about it, but it was pretty cool. And I spoke to them and I talked about trade. I said, but you're not trading with us if you're going to go to war, if you're going to start throwing nuclear weapons around. And I said it to both of them, and they were both unbelievable, actually. They understood it exactly. They stopped. I stopped that war with phone calls and trade. And by the way, I don't want to say I did, but I sure as hell helped settle the problem between Pakistan and India last week, which was getting more and more hostile. And all of a sudden, you'll start seeing missiles of a different type. We're going to do a lot of trade with you guys. Let's stop it. Let's stop it. If you stop it, we're doing trade. If you don't stop it, we're not going to do any trade. People have never really used trade the way I used it. That I can tell you. And all of a sudden, they said, I think we're going to stop. India and Pakistan. I was negotiating with both of them, and I said to Scott, I said to Howard, cancel all deals with India and Pakistan. They're not trading with us because they're in a war. They called back, what do we do? And they both agreed. Both have great leaders. They both agreed not to do it. A lot of wars were stopped that nobody thought would even be possible. And I'll tell you what, the war with India and Pakistan, and I said, you guys want to do trade? We're not doing any trade. We're not doing anything with you if you keep fighting. You got 24 hours to settle it. They said, well, there's no more war going. And I used that on numerous occasions. Trade, I used I used whatever you had to use.
This guy runs the same propaganda lines all the time, over and over and over again. That's like 10% of the times that he was talking about how he ended the war in India and Pakistan because of trade deal threats. Trade deal threats. He's trying to promote his horrible tariff and trade policy, which is turned up to costing us tons more money and still no deals. He's trying to resolve all those. And what he wants is the Nobel Peace Prize for not doing shit, but for propaganda. It's who he's always been. He promotes himself as this person that he's not and expects accolades for it because he's lazy and stupid. It's this guy in the Indian parliament. His name is Jai Shankar. He's a minister of the Modi government. And he responded to that. I'm not sure if many people ever bring this up or really talk about any of the pushback that happens, but you guys heard it for 2 minutes straight how Donald Trump said he pushed for trade in order to end that conflict.
Now, I want to make two things very clear, sir. One, at no stage in any conversation with the United States was there any linkage with trade and what was going on.
Someone's lying, bro. Someone's lying. That's why it's important to not be known as a pathological liar, which our president is known as. The proof is only with whether or not those conversations actually happened. But if you weren't there, I tend to believe or not to believe the guy who has done nothing but lie and destroyed things and has been only caring about his self-image and somehow promoting himself as this peacemaker, which he absolutely is not. I'm about to go in a second, but I want to show you guys this last thing. In case anybody's concerned or said, oh my God, I can't believe Rick Wilson talks about Trump dying like that. JR, I can't believe that you're talking about he's not going to make it to 2028. How dare you speculate on someone's death and mortality? It's so heartless. I can't believe you do that to Donald Trump, because people gasp and grab and clutch their pearls and go, I can't believe you guys would do this. I mean, if you bring that up, that's what makes people want to kill him. Did we forget that there was 2 Minnesota Democratic lawmakers? One was killed with her husband and the other one was shot and injured, and no one's talked about it. Donald Trump didn't call the governor, didn't have a long press conference, didn't say we need to lessen the tone, didn't say anything. As a matter of fact, the whole party forgot about it. They gave middle fingers to it. They blamed other folks for it. But we're supposed to somehow respect this guy and his life. He's set the stage. This is the temperature. This is what you're going to have to deal with. And I'm going to leave you guys with this. Do you guys remember when Joe Biden was diagnosed with that cancer earlier this year? Donald Trump was asked about it. Do you remember what he said?
Look, he's been a sort of a moderate person over his lifetime, not a smart person, but a somewhat vicious person, I will say. If you feel sorry for him, don't feel so sorry, because he's vicious. What he did with his political opponent and all of the people that he hurt a lot of people, Biden. And so I really don't feel sorry for him.
He doesn't feel sorry for him. Why should anybody feel sorry for your ass? Because he's vicious and what he's doing to his political opponents, and he's been a horrible person his whole life. Those 3 things apply to him times 100. Why should anyone feel sorry for your ass when you openly, as President of the United States, will tell anybody in front of you that disagrees with you or criticizes you, I will bury you I want you dead. I'll do anything in my power. And if you do get sick, I don't feel sorry for you. Just going to keep telling you guys who this guy is. And maybe we'll begin to understand the reasons why I hate this piece of trash is because he hates us.